I'm so glad to see you come back to my channel, and including new faces here. It's Keir Bombing here. I'll be your host on this brand new video. So on this video I will do another read aloud video today. So I'll show you what I've got before I move on to. I have got Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I got it from a charity shop yesterday, and I like Beauty and the Beast. Is this a 1991 animated classic? It has turned 30 last year, so it'll be 31 this year. So this is quite interesting. Before I read to you, it's got our latest book cover. It's got Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and Chip, Belle, and the Beast. Yeah, I guess you recognise your favourite characters from Beauty and the Beast. And you can see your logo with it. It says Disney's A Wonderful World of Reading. Yes, I guess perhaps you might be familiar with those Disney publications back in the 90s. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for writing these comments down below from the previous videos, and I really appreciate you guys. That was so thoughtful of you to support my channel. I hope my channel will continue to grow, and especially for still undergoing on Road to Earth 8. Well, I guess I hope you enjoyed watching me when I read those Disney stories to you. Have you ever read those bedtime stories before? Oh yeah, perhaps you might be familiar with that. Okay, if you're ready, first of all, let's begin reading Beauty and the Beast to you guys. If you like to listen to me on reading to you, it is highly recommended to wear your headphones or your earbuds. Well, you can sit back and enjoy the video. I will read to you. Once upon a time, in the faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Although he had everything a person could want, he had no love in his heart. One winter's night, an old woman came to the castle begging the prince for shelter from the cold. In return for his kindness, she offered him a single perfect rose, disgusted by her rags. The prince sneered at the rose and turned the poor woman away. Do not be fooled by this appearance, she warned him. There's a beauty to be found within all things. Then, in a flash, the woman's ugliness melted away to reveal a lovely enchantress. As a punishment for his selfishness, the enchantress turned the prince into a hideous beast, the castle into the dark fortress, and the servants into the household objects. Before she left, she gave the prince 2 gifts: the magic mirror that allowed him to see the outside world, and the rose, which would only live till his 21st birthday. If you learn to love another and earn her love in return before the last petal of the rose has fallen, said the enchantress, the spell will be broken. If not, you will remain the beast forever. A few years passed. One day, in a village not far from a castle, a young girl named Belle was crossing the town square. Belle loved to read, and, as usual, she had a note in her book. The handsome but conceited Gaston watched her. Gaston admired Belle almost as much as he admired himself. She is the girl I'm going to marry, he declared. When Belle got home, her father, Maurice, greeted her excitedly. "I've just finished my latest invention," he exclaimed. "I hope it works." "Of course it will," Belle reassured him. "I'm sure it will win first prize at the fair." That afternoon, Maurice hitched his invention to his horse, Philippe, and set off for the fair. But Maurice and Philippe became lost as they rode through the forest. Suddenly, they heard the howling of wolves. Frightened horse reared up in alarm, sending poor Maurice flying through the air. Maurice got up quickly and ran down the hillside with the wolf snapping his heels. He saw an iron gate, slipped through it, and slammed it shut just in time. He followed the path until he came to the dark, forbidden castle. When no one answered his knock, Maurice opened the creaking door and let himself in. No sooner was he inside than a strange thing happened. A candlestick bowed and began talking to him. "Welcome, our good man," said the candlestick. Then the clock stepped out of the shadows and scolded the candlestick. "Lumiere, you know our master said not to let anyone in." "Oh, but now that he's here," Cogsworth said, "Mrs. Potts, the talking teapot, we must be kind to the old gentleman." Her teacup son Chip agreed, so they gave Maurice some tea, a bite to eat, and a chair to rest in. Suddenly, a dreadful beast burst into the room. "A stranger," he roared. "What are you doing here?" "I just need a place to stay," said Maurice timidly. "I'll give you a place to stay," shouted the beast. Then he scooped Maurice up in his hairy paws and carried him off to the dungeon. Back in the village, Belle was waiting for her father to return when Gaston came to ask her for a hand in marriage. Belle tried to say no politely. "I really don't deserve you," she started to say, but Gaston would not listen. He had backed her up against the door when Belle reached for the doorknob. She opened the door and sent him sprawling down the steps into the big giant puddle. Later, Belle heard Philippe whining outside her window. "Where is father?" she said to the horse. "Did something happen to him?" Belle threw on the cloak and leaped onto Philippe's back. "Take me to Papa," she commanded. Philippe sped through the forest until he came to the dark and uninviting castle. Belle saw her father's hat laying just inside the gate. She tied Philippe to the post and followed the path up to the castle. "Papa, are you here?" cried Belle. She slowly pushed open the door of the castle and stepped inside. Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and Chip quietly followed Belle from the halls. "Isn't she lovely?" whispered Mrs. Potts. "Perhaps she's the one who will break the spell." Finally, Belle found her poor father locked away in a lonely cell. She was reaching out to touch his hand when the beast suddenly appeared, trembling with fright. Belle asked the beast to let her go. "He's an old man," she begged. "Take me instead." "Very well," said the beast, "but you must promise to stay here forever." "You have my word," replied Belle. Then, before Belle could say a proper goodbye, the beast dragged Maurice away and sent him home in the enchanted coach. Soon, the beast returned for Belle. "You may go anywhere you like," he said, as she showed her to her room, "but you must never go near the west wing." Then the beast shut the door. Belle was alone with the wardrobe, who was delighted to have a lovely young girl to dress. Meanwhile, Maurice raced to the village tavern to get help. "A hideous beast has Belle locked up in his castle," Maurice cried. But Gaston and the villagers only laughed at him, so he left by himself to find Belle. Later that night, Belle sneaked out of her room to eat and explore the castle. Cogsworth and Lumiere started to give Belle a tour, but she slipped away to see the forbidden west wing. "I wonder what he's hiding there," she said. When she came to the beast's room, she found the enchanted rose under the bell jar. She was about to touch its soft petals when the beast came charging towards her. "Don't touch that!" he bellowed. "I told you not to come here. Get out!" Belle ran from her room, down the stairs, and out in the freezing night. She leaped onto Philippe and began to race through the woods. She would not stay at the castle with a horrible beast, no matter what she had promised. Suddenly, a pack of prowling wolves crept out from the darkness. They yellow eyes flashing in the night. Philippe reared up in fear, and Belle tumbled to the ground. But before the fierce creatures could pounce on her, the beast came to Belle's rescue. The wolves attacked the beast with their sharp teeth and claws, but he fought them off. Belle mounted Philippe and was about to make her escape when she saw the injured beast stagger and fell. "I can't just leave him here," she said softly. "Help me get him back, Philippe." Together, Belle and the horse brought the beast back to the castle. Tenderly, Belle cleaned and bandaged the beast's wounds. "By the way," she said, "thank you for saving my life." Belle smiled at the beast for the first time. Shyly, he smiled back. In the days followed, the beast took Belle for the walks in the garden, and he showed her his library. In return, Belle began to teach him how to behave like a gentleman. Slowly, Belle and the beast were becoming friends. One night, after dinner, the beast bashfully led Belle to the ballroom. It wasn't long before they were waltzing gracefully across the dance floor. "Are you happy here?" the beast asked. "Yes," said Belle. "If only I could see Papa." "There is a way," said the beast, handing her the magic mirror. Belle gasped at the sight of her father, sick and lost in the forest. "You must go to him," said the Beast sadly. Taking the mirror with you? Belle found her father, and with the help of Philippe, she got him home to bed. Soon Maurice was well again. Not long after, a strange man came to their door. Gaston and the villagers were with him. Gaston tells me that Maurice has been wrathing about the Beast. The man told Belle, I have come to take your father to a asylum. Never, replied Belle. I will prove to you that my father is not crazy. She held up the magic mirror so that everyone could see the Beast. The villagers cried out in affright when they saw the Beast in the mirror. That Beast is dangerous. Gaston shouted, I say we will go to the castle and get rid of him before he harms anyone. Belle tried to stop them, but it was no use. Soon the angry crowd was storming the Beast's castle. As Gaston ran upstairs to search for the Beast, the villagers broke into the dining room, but the Beast's loyal servants were ready and waiting to attack. The villagers were no match for the pictures, clocks, footstools and brushes. Soon they turned and fled from a castle in defeat. Meanwhile, Beast had found the Beast and chased him into the roof. Get up and fight, Gaston taunted. But ever since Belle had left the castle, the Beast had lost interest in living. He did not want to fight. Gaston raised his club ready to kill the Beast. No, Belle cried from below. She raced upstairs. At the sight of her, the Beast's spirit returned and he blocked the clubs below. The Beast grabbed Gaston by the neck, but he could no longer find it in his heart to hurt anyone. He released Gaston unharmed. As Belle arrived and embraced the Beast, Gaston sneaks up from behind. He stabbed the Beast in the back. Roaring in pain, the Beast struck out at Gaston. Gaston took a step backward and he lost his balance with a terrible scream. He fell from a roof and he was gone forever. The Beast took a step forward, stepped toward Belle, and then collapsed from his wounds. At least I got to see one last time, said the Beast. You're going to be all right, said Belle through her tears. Then she whispered, I love you. In the Beast's room, Lumiere and Cogsworth watched in despair as her rose shed his last petal, but then the sparkling magical light surrounded the Beast. His paws became hands and feet, and the rest of his body was restored to his former handsomeness. Belle looked on in amazement as the Beast turned into the prince. One by one, the objects in the household become human again. The spell was broken. The prince and Belle looked into each other's eyes. As they kissed, they knew they would live happy ever after. Well, I hope you enjoyed reading Beauty and the Beast with me, but I thank you ever so much to listen to me reading to you. I thank you ever so much. I hope you enjoy this video. If you're ready, if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel to hear the notification. Do not miss out the upcoming contents. Okay, that's it for all. I'm enjoying this video and have a nice day.